The white lifted pickup truck accelerated hard and launched high off a large dirt mound. The vehicle lost balance in midair, nose dived into a muddy water pit, flipped over, and came to rest completely upside down. The sedan accelerated hard over a muddy dirt ramp. As soon as it left the ground, the car launched high into the air, crashed nose first into a muddy pit, and came to rest completely upside down in the middle of the water. The lifted pickup truck accelerated hard over a dirt mound before charging straight into a muddy pit. It flipped forward, nose dived into the water, and came to rest completely upside down in the middle of the muddy hole. The green buggy accelerated hard up a rugged dirt and rock hill. Near the top, it lost momentum, slid sideways, then tumbled repeatedly down the gully before coming to rest completely upside down at the bottom of the slope. The gray off-road Jeep attempted to power its way up a steep, rocky ravine. Just before reaching the top, it lost momentum, tipped backward, dropped into the narrow gully, and came to rest completely upside down with its wheels pointing skyward. The purple framed buggy revved aggressively as it attacked a steep, rocky climb. Just as it was about to clear the rock ledge, the front wheels lifted off the ground, the vehicle flipped backward, slammed directly into a tree, and came to rest, standing nearly upright amid a thick cloud of dust and exhaust. The white-framed buggy accelerated hard up a rugged rocky hill through the forest. As it neared the top of the climb, the vehicle lost momentum, slid sideways, then tumbled repeatedly down the slope before coming to rest completely upside down at the bottom. The green pickup truck belched thick black smoke as it charged over a small dirt hill. Carried by its momentum, the truck launched high into the air before slamming tail first into a muddy pit. The heavy impact sent the entire vehicle flipping over, leaving it completely upside down in the mud. The green buggy accelerated hard up a steep dirt hill. Halfway up the climb, it suddenly lost momentum, reared back, then tumbled repeatedly down the slope before coming to rest completely upside down at the bottom. The red-framed buggy accelerated hard up a towering dirt hill through the forest. Near the top of the climb, the vehicle rolled over, then slid backward, tumbling repeatedly down the hillside before coming to rest completely upside down at the bottom. The red buggy accelerated up a rugged rock-strewn hill through the forest. As the front wheels climbed over the crest, the vehicle lost balance, pitched forward into a rollover, then tumbled down the slope before coming to rest, leaning against a tree. The green off-road vehicle revved its engine and surged up the steep dirt slope, cutting through the forest. Just before reaching the crest, it was launched into the air, nose pointed straight at the sky before tumbling down and wedging against a tree trunk on the hillside. The blue buggy with orange accents accelerated hard up a dirt hill through the forest. Just as it reached the crest, the vehicle became airborne, flipped down the slope, slammed into a tree, and came to rest completely upside down. The pink and black lifted pickup truck powered through the muddy pit, throwing water and mud in every direction. While accelerating and making a sharp turn in the middle of the bog, the truck suddenly lost its balance, tipped onto its side, rolled over with its wheels in the air, and came to rest in the mud as white smoke poured from the engine. The blue buggy raced through a muddy, rock-filled creek bed. After striking a steep rock ledge, the vehicle bounced violently, flipped over, and crashed into the muddy trench, coming to rest completely upside down. The red buggy accelerated hard up a steep, rocky dirt ravine. Partway up the climb, it lost momentum, slid backward, tipped against the hillside, then rolled completely onto its roof, and came to rest in the narrow gully. The red and black off-road vehicle roared as it strained to climb the treacherous rocky hill. Suddenly, it flipped backward, tumbled repeatedly down the steep slope, and finally came to rest completely upside down at the foot of the hill. The orange and black buggy revved aggressively as it charged up a steep dirt and rock hill. Halfway up the climb, it suddenly lost momentum, slid rapidly backward, rolled onto its side, and came to rest completely upside down in a pile of dry tree branches. The dark red monster truck accelerated hard and launched off a tall dirt mound. The powerful jump sent the entire truck soaring through the air before it landed nose, first rotated 180 degrees and flipped completely upside down into a muddy pit with thick smoke rising from the wreck. The silver-framed buggy applied steady throttle as it tried to crawl up a rugged, rocky hill in the forest. After the front wheels climbed over a large rock ledge, the vehicle lost balance, slid backward, and drifted into the gully where its rear wheels became wedged against a tree at the bottom of the slope. The bronze-framed buggy revved hard and powered up a steep dirt incline. As it attempted to climb over the vertical ledge, it lost momentum, flipped backward, then slid into the gully and came to rest completely upside down. The black high-clearance monster truck roared across the muddy off-road track, charging over a series of rugged dirt mounds with impressive jumps. Near the finish, it accelerated hard, suddenly lost control, rolled onto its side with the wheels pointing skyward, and disappeared into a thick cloud of white dust. The red and silver-framed buggy accelerated hard up a steep dirt hill through the forest. Just before reaching the summit, the vehicle suddenly reared up, flipped backward, then tumbled all the way down the slope before coming to rest completely upside down among the rocks at the bottom. The blue buggy revved hard and accelerated up a steep dirt hill through the forest. About halfway up the climb, it suddenly lost control, flipped backward, then tumbled repeatedly all the way down the slope before coming to rest completely upside down in a cloud of dust at the bottom. The buggy accelerated hard out of a muddy pit, struggling to climb a steep, slippery dirt hill. Halfway up the slope, it suddenly reared up, flipped backward, then slid all the way back into the muddy basin where it completed another roll and landed safely back on all four wheels. The blue and silver buggy accelerated hard up a steep dirt and rock hill. As its wheels crested the ledge, the vehicle lost its center of gravity, flipped onto its roof, then slid and tumbled repeatedly all the way to the bottom of the slope. The buggy accelerated hard up a steep dirt hill through the forest. Just before reaching the crest, it suddenly became airborne, reared onto its rear end, flipped backward, then tumbled repeatedly down the slope before coming to rest completely upside down at the bottom. The orange and black framed buggy revved hard and accelerated as it attempted to climb a steep, rocky ravine. Just as it crested the rock ledge at the top, the vehicle suddenly lost balance, flipped backward into the gully, and came to rest completely upside down amid a cloud of dust. The flame-liveried buggy powered across the rocky terrain and climbed a steep hill. As it charged up the vertical rock ledge, the vehicle lost momentum, flipped onto its roof, and slid all the way down to the bottom of the slope. The buggy revved hard as it struggled to climb a steep rock ledge. As the front wheels crested the cliff, the vehicle lost its balance, flipped backward, slid down the slope, and came to rest completely upside down. The green monster truck accelerated hard across the dirt track. After smashing into a dirt mound, it launched high into the air, flipped upside down, nose dived into the ground, and came to rest completely inverted. The blue-gray buggy revved hard and accelerated up a rugged rock-filled hill. As it climbed over a large rock ledge, the vehicle lifted its front end high, flipped backward, then slid and tumbled several times down the steep slope. The off-road vehicle, emblazoned with blue flame patterns, surged toward a steep, rocky ravine. As its front wheels climbed over a rocky ledge, the vehicle reared up vertically before flipping backward and coming to rest completely upside down. The buggy accelerated up a rugged, rocky trail through the forest. When the front wheels struck a large rock ledge, the vehicle suddenly pitched forward, rolled into the steep gully, and came to rest completely upside down as flames erupted, sending thick white smoke into the air. The blue-framed buggy revved hard as it struggled to climb a steep, rock-strewn ledge. As the front wheels crested a large boulder, the vehicle lost its balance, tipped sharply onto its side, rolled onto its roof, then slid down the slope before coming to rest completely upside down in the middle of the forest. The dark gray steel framed off-road vehicle charged up a steep, rocky slope, launching into the air before flipping backward and rolling down to land on its side. The purple buggy charged up the steep, rocky slope, but it suddenly reared up, flipped backward, and landed upside down on the hillside before striking a small tree trunk. The dark gray buggy charged up the rough dirt slope in the forest, but when it reached the steep upper section, it lost momentum and flipped backward onto its roof. A gray buggy with red graphics charged hard up the steep rocky dirt slope, but when it reached the taller section near the top, it lost momentum, flipped backward, and ended up upside down on the sandy dirt slope below. The red frame buggy charged up a rough, rocky dirt slope, but when it reached the steeper upper section, it lost momentum, reared up, flipped backward, and then rolled several times all the way down to the bottom of the hill. The silver gray buggy sped through the inflatable gate and followed a rough sandy dirt track, but as it tried to climb a dirt ledge on the turn, the vehicle tilted sharply and flipped onto its roof. The white steel frame buggy charged hard up the dirt slope, but when it reached a steeper section higher up, the vehicle lost balance, hit a tree stump, then flipped backward and tumbled several times all the way down to the bottom of the hill. The off-road vehicle charged up a steep, muddy concrete slope. However, as it neared the summit, it lost momentum, reared up, flipped over backward, and finally landed upside down in a pit below. The black and white buggy launched over a large dirt ridge and kept accelerating up the slope. However, when it slammed into a high dirt wall ahead, the front end shot upward, sending the vehicle into a backward rollover before it tumbled several times back down the hill. The red buggy tried to accelerate hard up a steep, dusty slope, but near the top it lost momentum, reared up, flipped backward, and rolled a few times down the hillside before finally landing back on its wheels. The white steel frame buggy sped through the inflatable gate, launched over a dirt ridge, and then continued over an obstacle made of large tires. After that, it took a turn and accelerated up a steep, rocky dirt slope, but because it lost momentum, it flipped backward and ended up upside down on the slope. The buggy accelerated hard up the steep rock face, but with too much momentum, the wheels struck a tree stump, sending the vehicle into the air. It pitched upward, flipped backward, and crashed back down onto the ground. The black off-road vehicle accelerated up the sheer cliff face. The extreme steepness caused the front end to rear up sharply, flipping the vehicle backward. It completed a full rotation before landing back on all four wheels. The buggy accelerated hard up the rocky dirt trail, but when it reached the rough rocky incline above it, lost momentum, reared. The buggy accelerated hard up the steep rocky dirt slope, but halfway up it lost momentum, reared up, flipped backward, and ended up upside down at the bottom of the hill, kicking up a huge cloud of dust. The black buggy tried to accelerate up a steep trail filled with large rocks. After making it past the rough, rocky section and getting close to the top, the vehicle suddenly lost balance and flipped backward. It then rolled onto its side and ended up blocking the trail.